what to say, can't fight my way through the tears. How come I can't talk to you after knowing you all these years? The words are in my heart, but can't get past my throat. And Cheryl, that really gets his goat. Sylvia Plath or someone like that would have given me something to say. But I found I'm speechless and dumb, I can't move my tongue. And Cheryl, I beg you to stay. He wants to tell her that he loves her, but he just can't find the quotes. And Cheryl, that really gets his goat.
It happened on a glorious day in May at Wembley Central Station as I lay filled with the froth of life, the ale of spring, and all the songs that happy seagulls sing, while waiting for a distant, tardy train and sheltering in the buffet from the rain. Through happy mists of beer and victory I a sad and lonely figure did espy. A longer face no dachshund ever had, no funeral mourner ever looked so sad. Compared to this poor soul, dear Morrissey, a hive of joy and happiness would be. He sat there, softly crying into his coke, a puny, weedy, gangly kind of bloke with greasy hair and zit-strewn, sallow face. A sorry advert for the human race. Now, I'm not oft inclined, I must confess, to counsel spotty nerdies in distress. I've always thought that role in life's great plan was best left to Tanita Tikaram. But so bereft of life and hope was he, and so alone in anguished misery, that I was touched. Yes, more than words can say, and moved across to pass the time of day. Core bloody hell, you look a dreadful state. Do you want a drink to cheer you up, eh, mate? And what has caused this lacrimonious tide? Has your pet lemming prematurely died? Has Leonard Cohen penned his final song? Did Billy Bragg vote Tory all along? He shook his head, let out a dreadful moan, and softly whispered, Cheryl's going home. And thus begins this cautionary tale. The story of a poor, deluded male destroyed by love for one he thought was true. But I learned otherwise, and so will you. Think positive. The future must be brighter. What can I do to make your burden lighter?
Please drop something heavy on my head so I don't feel the pain in my heart. A dose of sweet amnesia to forget that we're apart. I once had a heaven that was soft and warm. I've now a hell that's cold and dark. And I feel I'm just too sensitive to deal with a broken heart. can get me another drink. You can light me a cigarette. I don't give a damn about my lungs and liver. Right now I'm too upset. Cheryl and I had everything, and I loved her from the start. And I feel I'm just too sensitive to deal with a broken heart. Go and get your violin and play something sad for me, like the Bee Gees, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart, or the Beatles, Let It Be. Use plenty of vibrato and play soft, sensitively, and it might just help me come to terms with something difficult for me. Drop something heavy on my head so I don't feel the pain in my heart. A dose of sweet amnesia to forget that we're apart. I once had a heaven that was soft and warm. I've now a hell that's cold and dark. And I feel I'm much too sensitive to deal with a broken heart.
It seems you really loved her, fair and true, and though this is bizarre, she loved you too. Although you are a greasy, spotty bloke who hangs around in stations and drinks Coke. But now she's gone, or going soon, you say. Make a new start, don't mope your life away. Get up and smile and face the future proud. Hold up your head, stand firm above the crowd. Forget young Cheryl, look around anew, for somewhere there's a girl even for you. And firstly, get some good ale down your neck, for good ale can transform the wimpiest wreck. Now, tell me, how did you and Cheryl meet? Did she have spots as well? And smelly feet? Now let me guess. Your life-changing encounter came in the chemist's at the zit cream counter. You lied to her and said your name was Peter. You bought for her a single odour eater, then brought her home and told her she was nice. Took her to bed and gave her pubic lice. And then you moved into a filthy squat, became a Paul Young fan, as like as not. Oh, sorry, mate. My jesting's gone too far. I should have known how sensitive you are. Don't cry. I'm only trying to cheer you up. My favourite team just won the FA Cup. I'm on cloud 9. Want you to join me there. I'm only joking about her pubic hair. And even in jest, it's wrong to be obscene about such beauty only rarely seen. Tell me of Cheryl and the fateful day when Cupid's arrow blew your mind away.
Out of everyone I've ever met, I chose her. The one with the deepest eyes and the golden hair. Someone who could cheer you up the moment you felt sad. Someone to whom the more you gave, you felt the more you had. But that ignores the passion and the physical desire. The way that two souls become a one great ball of fire. A rhythmical inferno like a new Paul Simon song, where the sweetest of melodies blends with an African drum. And we made love, we made love, we made love, 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 love. We met in this little bar in Dalston Square. I just happened to walk in and she was there. She said, "Hi, I'm Cheryl. Hannah, what are you doing here?" And then she smiled with her eyes in the way that she does, and I just fell for her. I can't remember what we talked about. The hands on the clock spun like a Catherine wheel as the time was running out. It must have been love, love at first sight, when she said, "You are more than welcome to take me home with you if you like." And we consummated that passion, that physical desire, and our two souls became one great ball of fire, a rhythmical inferno like the heartbeat of 10,000 men who marched to the peaks of Everest and then marched down again. And we made love, we made love, we made love, 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 love.
Alas for this poor innocent, alack, a soul on whom the fates have turned their back. I scarce believe these words which I have heard. My earlier jests, so ribald and absurd, were meant to raise the spirits of the youth, but were, it pains to tell you, based on truth. I know this Cheryl, wretched spawn of hell, and know that I must bring myself to tell this sad, deluded fool her awful story, although 'tis squalid, fetid, hideous, and gory. But first, dear friends, to you I shall impart the knowledge which will surely break his heart. This bar on Goldston Square of which he sang was home to a disreputable gang of addicts, pimps, punks, pushers full of malice and other dregs whom even Crystal Palace would turn away from Selhurst's awful gate. And there this wretch, oblivious to his fate, encountered Cheryl. She was there most days, and when she wasn't in a drugged-up haze, I talked to her sometimes. I knew her well, and woe is me. One day I heard her tell of one she spoke of as a total nerd she'd met some time before. That was her word. Who sat down, said he loved her on the spot, and took her back to the most awful squat she'd ever seen. Yes, cockroaches and all. Old urine stains and mould covered the wall. The stench of sick hung heavy in the air. A dog had died and been left rotting there. Now, once or twice I'd been back to her flat. Thought nowhere could be filthier than that, but she said rats had left this other place and gone back to the sewers to save face. Nevertheless, she moved in right away. Oh, awful, woeful, misbegotten day, and on a foul wall, encrusted with dung, she hung her favourite picture of Paul Young.
Oh, will you shut up?
Cheryl lived in that room with me. A tiny little warm romantic place to be. She settled in, she hung her picture of Paul Young upon the wall. I can recall all the things she had to leave behind, so we could live in those four walls she didn't mind. She unpacked her things and let all her apprehension fade away. On that first day, in that room that was our home, somewhere to belong, somewhere to be weak while we were out there being strong, somewhere to go to and somewhere to come from. I accepted occasionally was a pit. No one ever got around to tidying it. We always had the choice between cleaning up or climbing into bed. Well, enough said. It was our room, it was our home. It was somewhere to belong, somewhere to be weak while we were out there being strong, somewhere to go to and somewhere to come from. In that room that was our home, in that room.
The sad, romantic, poor, deluded fool used by this siren as her willing tool. She'd long pursued a life of such disgrace to make foul Sodom seem a holy place. The story of those sick, demented years I gleaned one Sunday over several beers from Chris, a pusher, pimp, addict and spiv whom Cheryl often shared her needles with. She was an addict too. Cocaine and crack, methadone, mandrax, acid, glue and smack. She took them all and then came back for more, as she had done for many years before she met this fool. But he had no idea, though to a brain-dead sloth, the truth was clear. When asked about her varied drug collection, she told him that she had an ear infection, though ear infections of which I've heard speak don't cost around £1,000 a week to medicate. But he worked night and day to keep this costly earache at bay, and when 'twas clear that funds were at an end, this Cheryl told her sad, gullible friend that household costs from now on she would share, and she had found a job at mother care, which naturally pleased the soppy prat. But oh, reality was far from that. At first she sold her body on the street to every willing stranger she could meet, until one day, spectacularly pissed, she went home with a local Satanist and Rotary Club member. Name of Stan, who being a perverted kind of man, enrolled her in a foul and sordid sect, who altars to the devil did erect, and awful practices pursue with farmyard beasts. And at one of these sick and dreadful feasts, said Cheryl, oh, the words stick in my throat, did leprosy acquire from a goat, both rank of breath and huge and hard of member, as far as my informant can remember. And all the while, that poor fool over there thought she was hard at work at mother care. Now, leprosy, even a dose minute, is not becoming in a prostitute, and such excess, and there is worse, I fear, brought a quick end to Cheryl's street career and took her talents in a new direction. 'Twas then she took a course in vivisection, and soon was hard at work giving a jab to hapless creatures in a local lab, and then she really plumbed the depths of hell. For vivisection doesn't pay too well. To feed her habit, buy her files and pills, she started to employ her writing skills. As page 3 caption writer at The Sun, a job, she says, she took on just for fun, she caught the eye of Mr. Kenneth Clark, who saw her promise as a Tory shark and started her on those new classroom texts, the ones all children will be taking next, a series of pernicious primary courses to educate the young in market forces. So skillfully did she compose these lies, and so seductively the truth disguise, that she was headhunted immediately by a large advertising agency who specialised, oh miserable tale, in timeshare flat selling by direct mail. And yes, she proved a brilliant sales recruit. Her favourite sites? Chernobyl and Beirut. I know exactly why she's leaving now. She's starting her own agency in Slough. And thus, the full extent of her decline. I'm glad the creature is no friend of mine. A sordid and unspeakable regression from an ancient, respectable profession, headlong down life's corrupt and slippery slope into a yuppie hell, devoid of hope. Tory think tanks and advertising firms. How could a woman aid such evil worms? There's just one solace for all those who know her. That's it. She can't sink any lower.
You're really being rotten. You're being totally unfair. You just revel in the gossip around a really sad affair. I know everything that happened, because we always talked a lot, and we discussed everything.
What about Billy?
And yeah, I know about the goat, because everybody laughs a lot and says, how's Cheryl's Billy? But that's just being stupid. It's just being bloody silly. It wasn't like that. They're just going on what they heard. And to say that she caught leprosy is basically absurd. And I bet you've never ever suffered or had to have regular injections to try and keep the pain at bay from endless ear infections. And another thing, have you ever had a worthwhile career? And you always go around believing everything you hear?
I don't believe I'm hearing this.
Cheryl loved working with animals. God's sake, that's something she always wanted to do. She'd smile and say, OK, I'm off to treat my patients at my zoo. It made her feel maternal. She so loved working there. And it was me, not her, that came up with the nickname Cheryl's Mother Care. And then she had to make this decision that for her was really tough. Because you are right about that job not paying her enough. And I guess that's where the problems start, and why I'm in this awful situation. It's because Cheryl isn't happy with just a job. She needs a true vocation. Now that Tory job, well look, I'm not really political, but her working with Kenneth Clark was actually quite horrible. And then that bastard direct mail. I hate her doing that. Or that timeshare flat selling. That's not what she's about. Be fair to me, I did insist that she should give it up.
Oh, good.
And then we had this horrid, shitty row. And Cheryl just walked out. But I've had time to sit and think. And as always, I think she's probably right. It's not my place to tell her what she should be doing with her life. Instead of trying to change her, I should be giving her support. And maybe even helping by stuffing the odd envelope.
What?
So I've done a few. Just to try and patch it up.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
Look! It's impossible for me to live without someone I love so much. I wish we'd never had that row. And then I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now. Standing at the station, waiting for a train, to say, look, Cheryl, I'm sorry. Let's just try again.
The train now approaching platform 2 is the 10:30 express to Slough, calling at Nerdley, Pratt's Bottom, Dis, Norwood Junction, Bag Enderby, Bland Hill and Slough.
The thunder cracks against the night. The dark explodes with a yellow light. The railroad sign is flashing bright. The people stare, but I don't care. My flesh is cold against my bones, and Cheryl's going home. Can't you hear me shouting through the rain? Is there way to stop the train. I've got some reasons to explain about the way I was today. The whistle moans and I'm alone, and Cheryl's going home. Send a roving special down the line. I'm running desperately behind. There's only one thing on my mind, and the rain and the tears are in my eyes. The things that I have to say will not be known, and Cheryl's going home. Here it comes the train, and I can see Cheryl again. She looks so gorgeous, and she always did. I wanna take her in my arms, and hell as she does, and say, Cheryl, don't go home. Cheryl, don't leave me alone. Cheryl, don't go home tonight, tonight, tonight. Hello, Cheryl. All right. You know, I really missed you last night. I felt a bit lonely and the bed felt so cold, and I didn't have your arms to hold. Look, Cheryl, baby, I love you for all the things you've ever done for me, and that's true. And then I see that look in your eyes. My God, I'm sad and I'm paralyzed. You're gone away, and you ain't gonna stay. And I'm so sad you're gone away, 'cause your hair looks so pretty and your eyes look so blue. Everything you wear looks so good on you. Look, I'm wearing the jumper you gave me last Christmas. It hasn't faded after 15 washes. That's a great jumper. Great jumper. The poet is blowing the whistle and is waving his flag. And I left my address book in my bag, and I need your number. I've got it there somewhere. I've got it. Bullets, where's the pen? Oh, Cheryl! Hang on! And that train, that bloody train, is going chip, 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 chip down the track. It's going chip, 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 chip down the track. Hey, Cheryl! It's going home. She got home for the very last time. I'm gonna miss her. Yes, I am. Tonight, 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 when I'm all on my own in my bed, and I'm thinking of Cheryl and all that we had. Charlotte's going home. Charlotte's going home. Tonight, tonight, tonight. Here I am, stood there like a lemon on the platform. And Cheryl sitting on the train.
Oh dear, I missed it. What should I do?
Staring at the blank pages in my address book now.
Oh, yeah, there's that Trainspotter I saw this morning.
Thinking, how the hell am I gonna get that number in Slough?
He must have got the number. I'll go and ask him. Hello, excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hello. Excuse me. I'm really pleased to meet you. I do hope you can help me. I don't know what to do. Did you get the number of the 10:30 to Slough? I saw it leave the station as I got here just now. I was in my hostel reading the telephone directory when someone told me that train was a new class 23, so I jumped up on my moped and I came quick as I can. Please tell me the number. You look a helpful man. But you're really sad. I hope you didn't miss it too. It had extra luggage space. Not many of them do. I know it did. A really pretty girl got on tonight, and I've never seen a lady with so much Samsonite. 23s with extra luggage space are really, really rare. You must have got the number. You spent hours standing there. You were there this morning when I ticked off that class 20, and you haven't moved at all since then. So you must have got plenty. We railway enthusiasts must really stick together, and if you give me the number, then I'll be your friend forever. And if you'll swap some badges, then I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll think you up a name, and you can join my rapping crew. MC Trainspotter and the Platform 2 live crew in the area. MC Trainspotter, yeah, that's me. And this is my homeboy, Nice T. Now, some people think the Trainspotting's rot, but me and my posse, we say it's not. All you need is a camera, notebook and pen. You write down a number, then you write one down again. We're ignored by the nation. We go down the station, and we've got another hobby, masturbation. Hey, don't walk away, because I'm talking to you. You know what they call us? The Platform 2 live crew. Okay, posse, give it some anorak. Scratch those zips, yeah. Now, me and my homeboys work in a bank, and at the weekend, we go to the library. On Saturday mornings, I like shopping, and then I go amateur league ground hopping. I nearly caught pneumonia at Billingham Synthonia. Want to know the layout of the ground? I'll phone you. And at half-time, I've got everything I need. A nice telephone directory to read. That's a good bit. MC Trainspotter in the house. I've got the sus, I've got the nous. I don't live in a ghetto like those rappers in the States. I like the police, yes, they're my best mates. I've never been arrested, it goes without saying. I've reported lots of people I've seen travelling without paying. And here's what I say to every other rapping group. Well, I'm okay at rapping, but I'm not as good as you. But I do think you spend far too much on your gear. I could save you some money, so please, listen here. My trainers are from Oxfam and they cost 50p. My anoraks, my mum's, and the carrier bag was free. I wouldn't wear a gold chain, somebody might mug me. No, I don't want a baseball cap, they really bug me. Me and my posse, we're the boys in the hood, and it keeps out the rain now. Isn't that good? And if you want information down at the station, just ask me, it'll fill me with elation. MC Trainspotter, yeah, that's me. Yo there, homeboy, want a cup of tea?
I don't think you understand. Can't you see? I'm not a train spotter. Look at me. Do I look like a train spotter? Sorry if I burst into tears. The girl was my girlfriend and I've loved her for years. Cheryl was my baby, used to sleep together, and on cold nights we'd hold each other. What do you do when your woman's gone away and you're crying and you're crying and you're crying all day? Oh yeah. What do you do when you're in bed on your own and you feel so sad and you feel so alone?
Well, I don't know just what you mean, because that question sounds obscene. Women ignore me. I don't know why. Well, they tease me and make me cry, but I found something I can play to keep the loneliness at bay. When I'm on my own, I sit around and moan, ring a dirty phone and play the pink trombone. I keep myself in order with the meat recorder, mope around and fret and play mutton clarinet. Spirits are low, I play veiny oboe, or I have a toot on the hairy flute. I'm lonely and I lump it with my foreskin trumpet, a solitary tune on the beef bassoon. So depressed and forlorn, with my crinkly crumb horn, dialing 0898 with my smelly playmates.
Huh? What does that sound like then?
A bit like this, really. When I'm on my own, I ring a dirty phone and play the pink trombone. But that's enough about my situation. Wouldn't you like some train information?
Yes. When does the next really fast, non-stop express go through this station?
Now you're talking. Satisfaction. MC Trainspotter swings into action. I'm top of the heap. I'm king of the pile. I give you the gen and I give it in style. To Trainspotting posses, I'm a legend, I'm a fable. I've memorised every train timetable, not just in Britain but in Europe too. America, Canada and Kathmandu. And steam train times, I've learnt those, you know, though they became obsolete years ago. And just to prove I'm the real top dog, I've memorised the Argos catalogue. But I'm the number one on railway facts. Times and numbers, government acts, dates and places, names and faces, and all done on a strictly amateur basis. When I leave the bank at 5:30, my real day starts. Yes, I come alive. I've got this homeboy on platform 2. He's part of the posse, he's part of the crew. He's an information clerk, and his name's Bob. He goes home and I do his job. He keeps his wages while I turn the pages. It's funny though, I haven't seen him for ages. He told me he had this operation.
Yes, but is there a fast train that goes to the station?
Yo there, sorry, I nearly forgot. You're talking to the MC who's really super hot. You want information on the next fast train? It comes to you straight from the Posse's top brain. It's 11 p.m, the next one's due, right here on the Posse platform, number 2. It's the fastest one that you've ever seen, and it's non-stop from London to Aberdeen. It was built last year in a yard on the Humber, but it goes through so fast that you'll never get the number.
I don't want to miss that train, or more accurately, I don't want that train to miss me. I can see the signal turn green for the train that don't stop between here and Aberdeen. It's my Starlight Express. Starlight Express. Before I leap, I'll count up to 4, or more appropriately, 1, 2, 5. And I'll be dead happy while Cheryl remains upset alive. Starlight Express. Starlight Express. Come on and tear down the track. I'm gonna leap, but I ain't coming back. That train ain't bound for glory. I certainly am, if I can't communicate. I'll express myself well.
Oh no, somebody call the police. There's going to be a breach of the peace. He doesn't want the number, he wants to die. He's going to kill himself and I'm going to cry. Don't jump, don't be so sad. You're the best friend that I ever had. I lied about the posse, it's really only me. Don't jump, I'll bring you some tea. I'll come up and get you, show that I care. But you see the sign, I'm not allowed up there. Don't jump, what shall I do? You're my homeboy and my posse and my crew. There's a bloke in my hostel called Jeff Potter. He's allowed up there. He's not a train spotter. Maybe he can save you from the terminal blues. It's 5 to 11. There's no time to lose.
You're on the right track. I'm gonna put myself on the line. These aren't the best places to end one's days, but in the circumstances, diesel do fine. Starlight Express. Starlight Express. Right, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Bye-bye, Cheryl, I love you. 1, 2, 5.
British Rail regret to inform passengers that the 2300-hour Starlight Express to Aberdeen has been delayed by approximately 3 weeks. We apologise for the delay and regret the inconvenience caused.
Betrayed in love, rejected and abused. Life's sweetness at an end, he life refused. But even in this, the brat was doomed to fail. No suicide can rely upon British Rail. For 2 whole weeks he sat upon that wall, but nothing came to help him end it all, for engineering works had just begun, and, as you know, they tend to overrun. But then, he says, there came a sterling knight with notebook, flask and anorak shining bright, moaning in impotent, trainless frustration, who climbed up there and sat in contemplation beside our friend, 2 souls in anguish racked. Together against the world they made a pact, and when the metal beast came crashing through, as BR trains occasionally do, he did not leap to death's eternal slumber, but bravely smiled and tried to take its number. He failed, of course, for it went through too fast, but he had found a kind of peace at last. Now, 5 years on, he has no need to roam or search for love. The railway is his home, with memories more pure than words can say, or so he told me just the other day. He'll stand beside the hallowed piece of track where Cheryl left, in hope that she'll come back. And though their time was short, for that he'll thank her. You spineless, prattish, nerdy, brain-dead wanker! Now listen! I shall say this just once more. God knows I've said it oft enough before. She loathed you from the moment you first met. Screwed you for every penny she could get. She was a Tory advertising shark who everyone refers to for a lark as Nanny. And you know the reason why. Oh, incidentally, Billy didn't die because animals can't get it. You were right. Though I bet that gave her a nasty fright. I saw old Billy not so long ago. He's still as randy as can be, you know. His beard is getting rather grey these days, but he's not given up his wicked ways. I heard a rumour Cheryl did come back. Maybe you looked the wrong way down the track. OK, I'll spill the beans. She really did. Because someone had to look after the kid when Billy went as mascot to Kuwait. You should have seen her. Oh, a dreadful state, just clinging to his neck at hour 0. Sobbing and crying, Billy, don't be a hero. Now let's reflect upon your lifelong choice. Forgive the hint of sarcasm in my voice. A Tory activist in direct mail, partial to smack and a bit of tail, a past in Satanism and vivisection. I see your point. A glamorous confection. How could a young man possibly resist? Oh, I give up. I'm going to get pissed.
Go and get drunk, you might as well. You're an insensitive sort of bloke. You never take anything seriously. This whole thing's just a joke. Your cynical observations stick in my throat, and you never miss the opportunity to bring up the subject of the goat. I look at you and feel sorry for you, because you really think you're right. You've never loved, you probably never will, and you'll never know what it's like. Because going through the things I have has made a man of me, while you remain an adolescent, emotionally. Because this has been about telling someone you love them before they get on the train, about being strong enough to say sorry before it's too late to start again, about not giving a damn if people laugh about the girl you're with, as long as she's the one you want, if she's the one you love. There's a small British rail station where I sometimes pass the time, and I contemplate all I've achieved and all I haven't done. And I know the number of every train. I make a note of everyone, as a good friend taught me long ago when Cheryl was going home. How come I can't talk to you after knowing you all these years? The words are in my heart, but can't get past my throat. And Cheryl, that really gets his goat.